Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Before we start, please press the subscribe button. MBH Travels presents Top 10 Beautiful Places You Can Visit in Rome. Number 10. Spanish Steps. The famous Spanish Steps in Rome are worth visiting. They are one of the top 10 places to visit in Rome. The name can be a bit confusing as construction of the steps was actually commissioned by the French Louis XII. In the 17th century, the Spanish embassy was located on the square Piazza di Spagna. About halfway up the Spanish steps to the side sits a literary landmark, the Keats Shelley House. This one-time residence, now museum, was where the 25-year-old English romantic poet John Keats came, gravely ill from the tuberculosis. Unfortunately, the warm Italian weather wasn't enough to revive his health, and Keats passed away here in this very house. You cannot sit, eat, or drink on the Spanish Steps. Number 9. Victor Emmanuel II National Monument. Inside the building is the Institute for the History of the Italian Risorgimento and the Central Museum of the Risorgimento. Since 1921, the Victor Emmanuel Monument holds the tomb of the unknown soldier, a place in which the eternal flame shines and which is always guarded by two soldiers. It is a remarkably large building made of white marble. This monument was built in the honor of Victor Emmanuel II. Although it doesn't include towers in its general design, the medieval structure still attracts attention from almost every part of Rome because its white marble stands out in an array of earth-colored buildings. It is situated between the Capitone Hill and Piazza Venezia and features some statues, columns, and grand stairways. It is one of the worth-seeing places to visit in Rome. Number 8. Castle Sant Angelo. The castle is built at the bank of river Tiber. Its most famous defense was an old trick from the Middle Ages, the so-called Passetto di Borgo, a concealed passageway that runs from the Vatican to Castle Sant Angelo. Its story is as complex as the multi-layered structure of the castle itself. Its walls have seen more than 1800 years of blood, wars, and death. It was first built between 123 and 139 AD to serve as the mausoleum of the Roman Emperor Hadrian and his family. It is also known serving as a fortress and prison to the papal residents throughout history. Today, the museum is known for its cultural and historical value. Number 7. Piazza Navona. Piazza Navona is one of the most beautiful and famous squares in the center of Rome. In 86 CE, Emperor Domitian commissioned the square with its unique elongated shape. This shape is a result of its original function as a stadium for athletics competitions, which stands for 20,000 spectators. It could hold approximately 20,000 spectators, which came here to see different athletic competitions. The most beautiful parts of Piazza Navona are its three fountains, designed during the papacy of Gregory XIII. Until the mid-19th century, every summer the drains of the three fountains were blocked and the center of the square was flooded to make the lake of Piazza Navona. The ruins of the Domitian Stadium, declared UNESCO World Heritage Site and subjected to indirect protection of the ministerial decree of April 7, 1974, are located under Piazza Navona at about 5 meters below the street level. Number 6. Roman Forum. The Roman Forum, also known by its Latin name Forum Romanum, is a rectangular forum surrounded by the ruins of several important ancient government buildings at the center of the city of Rome. Originally built to honor Jupiter but then changed to Saturn at some point in history, the function of the building was somewhat surprising. Basically, it was the very first Roman bank, and huge quantities of gold, silver, and other precious materials were stored here. Citizens of the city refer to this place, originally a marketplace, as the Forum Magnum or simply the Forum. Over time, it became more versatile and functional as public affairs were held in this area. Historians estimate that the rise of public events in the Roman Forum first took place around the 500 BC, when the Roman Republic started. Number 5. St. Peter's Basilica. Though it is a holy meeting place and an exceptional attraction in the Vatican City, St. Peter's Basilica serves another purpose. It is said to be the final resting place of the St. Peter, whose tomb is rumored to be directly beneath the high altar of the basilica. Even though they are both situated in the Vatican City, St. Peter's Basilica does not constitute part of the Vatican museums. Unlike the museums, the basilica is free to enter and don't require a ticket to get in. That being said, the entrance lines snaking across the square outside can be very long. It was built between 1506 and 1626. Spread over 20,000 square meters, Peter's Basilica in Vatican City is the world's largest church. Number 4. The Trevi Fountain. The Trevi Fountain is one of the most popular tourist attractions in Rome. There's almost always a crowd around the gorgeous landmark. The Trevi Fountain is one of the Rome's greatest attractions. It was built as a water source for the city. It stands 26 meters tall and 49 meters wide. It is an unmissable sight in the city. There is a myth of the Trevi Fountain that originated in 1954 with the movie 3 Coins in the Fountain, which goes like this: if you throw 1 coin, you will return to Rome. If you throw 2 coins, you will fall in love with an attractive Italian. If you throw 3 coins, you will marry the person that you met. Some estimates say that the Trevi Fountain takes in about €3,000 every day, and the money goes to the good cause. Number 3. Pantheon. It is the oldest Catholic church. It is famous for being the most preserved monument of the ancient Rome. It was constructed as a temple dedicated to the gods and became the burial ground for several important people, including famous artists and kings. Tourists do not need to buy a ticket for the Pantheon. It's a church and entrance is free. Most of the time you can just walk in. Its importance lies in the fact that it is the best preserved monument from ancient Rome. Throughout its history, the Pantheon's innovative combination of both Greek and Roman style has been admired by many. In fact, the Pantheon has served as inspiration for many replicas throughout Europe. Number 2. Vatican City. Vatican City is the smallest country in the world. Encircled by a 2-mile border with Italy, Vatican City is an independent city-state that covers just over 100 acres. The center of Christianity since the foundation of St. Peter's Basilica by Constantine in the 4th century, and at a later stage the permanent seat of the popes, the Vatican is at once the preeminently holy city for the Catholics, an important archaeological site of the Roman world and one of the major cultural reference. Vatican City contains religious and cultural sites such as the Sistine Chapel and the Vatican Museums. They feature some of the world's most famous paintings and sculptures. The Sistine Chapel is one of the greatest treasures of the Vatican City. Designed by the brilliant Angelo, it is a must-see tourist attraction. Vatican Gardens are considered as one of the most beautiful gardens in Rome. One can explore the place for 1 to 2 hours. Number 1. Colosseum. The Colosseum in Rome is considered as one of the 7 wonders of the world because of its architectural and structural sophistication, innovation, and enormity. The Colosseum is a large amphitheater that hosted events like gladiatorial games, animal hunts, and even mock naval battles. The amphitheater seated some 50,000 spectators. The Colosseum is wonderful, and a visit inside is the best way to understand how much more than glory gladiator stories there is to this monument. The inside of the Colosseum is beautiful, interesting, varied, and a dream for photographers, and it is likely to stay as a highlight for your trip to Rome. The Colosseum was damaged by lightning and earthquakes, and even more severely by vandalism and pollution. With this, we will conclude our video. See you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.